what were the obstacles that you found during this transition?
So I'd say mostly around time management. And because I decided that I wanted to pursue a master's degree. So you can imagine having to study for something like the GMAT exam, but you're still working 80 to 100 hours per week. It was really, really difficult. And then also finding time for our sessions. Luckily, you're flexible enough. I had to do them on the weekends with me. But yeah, I mean, also, as we sort of touched on, that sort of mindset change that you aren't really, you're not your job, you're more than your job. I think that's a big thing that people in this industry need to sort of struggle to overcome. Because as we said, as a banker, that's pretty much all you do. So there's a tendency to align your self-worth and your confidence with your job. And the problem with that is that if, uh, God forbid things ever go wrong, it can have quite a detrimental impact on your self-confidence and your self-esteem. So I studied finance at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. And then I went straight into investment banking at Morgan Stanley. And I was there for 2.5 years in South Africa as an analyst. Following that, I got promoted and I was lucky enough to get a move to London, where I joined Morgan Stanley's power and utilities team and was really exposed to transactions in the renewable energy space, as well as environmental services and like water and waste. So yeah, I mean, that's in a nutshell what I did over the 5 years. And I've since resigned from the back.
What are you up next?
So following our sessions, I really followed through with my plan to resign from the firm, as I mentioned. And I always had in mind to do sort of like a specialized master's degree to help with my career pivots. At first, as you know, I was really strongly considering and juggling with the idea of doing something like very passion aligned, like in football, for example. But I think after the conversations we had and really discussing like what I want out of life and my values, I think I came to the decision that VC is the best career path for me. And that's mainly because I'm someone who wants to work on big problems. I like to think creatively. Um, I eventually want to become an expert in a given field and influence others and also use those skills to eventually, when I go back to South Africa, to help build the country and really make a huge difference.
How did you decide that it was time to make a change?
That's a good question. So I sort of came to the realization that I wasn't really happy in multiple aspects of my life at the time. So at work, I felt like I wasn't really growing. I didn't have mentors or leaders that I could look up to and identify with. And I really didn't feel like a true sense of belonging in the team that I was in. And also personally, I was in the worst shape of my life and I sort of needed to improve that and also help with maintaining relationships with friends and family. So quite a few different parts. I just saw things weren't quite right. And that's why I sought out your help.
Right. And I think those are very common themes. So I hear a lot from clients, especially our generation, that we we really want mentors, and a lot of people in finance don't have them because finance is all about being busy and looking productive, and plus the pandemic didn't really help. So I'm hearing from a lot of clients like, oh, but I wanted someone to learn. So instead of quitting because there's a huge drama, oftentimes people actually want to quit because they want to learn much more. They want to stick in those learning curves, which is maybe something that you don't read every day in the news. It seems like banking is just this negative thing. Sometimes it's just because people are not growing enough.
Yeah.
What what were the obstacles that you found during this transition?
So I'd say mostly around time management. And because I decided that I wanted to pursue a master's degree. So you can imagine having to study for something like the GMAT exam, but you're still working 80 to 100 hours per week. It was really, really difficult. And then also finding time for our sessions. Luckily, you're flexible enough. I had to do them on the weekends with me. But yeah, I mean, also, as we sort of touched on, that sort of mindset change that you aren't really, you're not your job. You're more than your job. I think that's a big thing that people in this industry need to sort of struggle to overcome. Because as we said, as a banker, that's pretty much all you do. So there's a tendency to align your self-worth and your confidence with your job. And the problem with that is that if, God forbid, things ever go wrong, it can have quite a detrimental impact on your self-confidence and your self-esteem.
What made you decide to work with a coach?
I mean, I think I really wanted someone to bounce ideas off regarding the career pivots, and also someone to sort of hold me accountable to achieving my goals. And I think, I don't know if everyone does this, but before I agreed to do the coaching with you, I spoke to a number of coaches, and what really sort of differentiated you was sort of your flexibility to my schedule. Um, Obviously, I found you quite relatable on a personal level. So I sort of took all these considerations into account, and I decided to work with you.
What did you like the most about our sessions?
I mean, I think the conversations we had really challenged my assumptions and forced me to think about what I really want and what's important to me. And I think with this clearer direction of where I want to go, it really gave me sort of confidence and energy by sort of ticking off shorter term goals that I was achieving and putting me on the right path to achieve my longer term goals.
How long did it take for you to start seeing some results from your coaching?
In terms of the more longer term goals, I think I really, and it goes back to the mindset shift I mentioned. I really started prioritizing myself over a job that is making me sort of miserable at the time. And also, I mean, I decided on the career path I wanted to pursue. Um, and obviously, I got into the master's programs that I wanted to, specifically in climate science and policy at UC San Diego, as well as MBA at Cambridge Judge Business School. And that really stems from all the preparation work we did. All the preparation work we did, like are you helping me with my applications and us doing mock interviews and all that's, I think, extra preparation that maybe other candidates aren't doing, and really, I think, put made me have a strong foot forward with those applications. And obviously, I mean, the main points of the quitting like a lucrative finance job to take the time to recharge, travel, catch up with friends and family, and really align my career to my values and the life I want to lead. I think that's probably the most important outcome.
Wow. Me, Thailand, I get easily emotional. So let's start with that. So, and I agree that, at the beginning you were listing a lot of very tangible results, and I'm glad that at the end you had it, the time spent with family and friends, because I remember that was also, a little bit of an issue, because obviously when you're hardworking and you work in banking, all you do is work. And so you have a family, you might have friends, but you don't see them. And especially if you're a foreigner, possibly not from London, really, within the UK, because that's where the financial industry is, then it's hard to stay connected. When you were there struggling, what would you like to hear? Why should I have coaching? Why coach could help?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think the main points are, it's just I think the accountability really sets you on the path to achieve your goals, but it's really through the thought provoking conversations and the exercises, and that really helps you define what you want out of a career. I would also say that the program is, although it's well structured, it's also sort of flexible. So the clients will come with what they want to work on and where they think they're stuck or they need help. And as a result, I think the main benefits of me for me was the deep levels of introspection and the self awareness that our conversations inspired. I mean, as you can imagine, if you have the task of writing an MBA admissions essay and you've been thinking about what you want to do with your life and who you are for the past couple of weeks, it makes the exercise like a million times easier. So I'm really grateful I got the opportunity to do that.
So, um, thank you very much for sharing your experience. It's been an amazing journey, and I really loved it.
And no, thank you. Eternally grateful for the sessions we had and the time we spent together and the experiences and what they've led to. So thank you, Claudia. It's been awesome.
Thank you very much.